Good evening. Welcome to the Purpose for Productivity Show. I am Florence Donald, your host. So glad to have you here with us this evening. Happy Thanksgiving for those who are in the United States who just celebrated this wonderful day on yesterday with friends and family and a time of thankfulness. So, tonight, this episode is wrapping up meeting month, and it's all about honing that craft of planning impactful meetings. And I'm going to do it in the context of board meetings or executive committee meetings because we need something to wrap it around, and that's going to be what I wrap tonight around. And I'll just share some practical tips with you on how to build a culture of excellence and unleash the power of effective planning when you're going into one of these high powered meetings that have a lot of impact. And as a leader, because I coach professionals, entrepreneurs, faith based organizations, basically leaders, to streamline your productivity system, fixing the friction and enabling you to achieve your purpose and create value with greater efficiency. Meetings is certainly one of those places where, as a leader, you're constantly having to put some energy into, and it is one of the ways that you achieve your purpose. So, being able to plan them as well as execute them, have them be productive, is essential. So hang tight, gang. Tonight, we're going to get right into the material. And I'm going to just come in later on and just say, welcome to some folks who are in the building, but I want to get right into the material first and foremost to give you the value, and then we can do some pleasantries a little bit later. So, the first thing I want to talk about is, and this is in the context of planning, and we're talking about board meetings and executive committee meetings. You can, however, take these principles, these tips, these strategies, and apply them to any meeting that requires decision making. Okay? So the first thing is managing your physical logistics early. Managing your physical logistics early. When many people think about meetings, they think about date, time, place. Those are the physical logistics. What date is it going to be? What time is it going to start? What time is it planned to end? Where will it be held? Get that out of the way early in your planning process so that you can communicate it. I submit, get it out 4 weeks before the actual meeting. Yes, 4 weeks before the actual meeting. Not 4 days, 4 hours, or 4 months even, but 4 weeks. Why do I say 4 weeks? As heavily scheduled leaders, your calendar is packed anywhere from 2 weeks to a month out. So 4 weeks out gives you enough time to deal with downstream effects of a meeting going on your calendar. I was talking with one of my colleagues today, and I shared that when someone asks me to attend a board meeting or executive committee meeting, and it comes 2 weeks before the meeting, there are a multitude of events and activities that have a ripple effect. So, one of these first tips, handle those logistics, those physical logistics early. And one of them also is determining whether that meeting is going to be in person, where everyone has to drive to one common physical building together, whether it's going to be virtual, where no one drives to a separate location. We're all doing what we're doing here. We're in whatever space we have, whether it's in our home or in our office or in a studio or wherever it may be, and we're using some type of digital technology, and I call it being in Hollywood squares. So we're looking at each other in squares. Or it's a combination where some folks are together in a physical building and some folks are in a virtual meeting. So make those logistics really important, because before you get to topics or anything, when folks are planning their calendar and they're planning what is affected by this meeting you want them to show up to, it's the physical logistics that they think about first. 4 weeks out. 4 weeks. Plan it that far out. So that's number one. Now, once you get through the physical logistics, I'm going to say start focusing on the decision logistics. Now, what do I mean by decision logistics? When you're planning these meetings, they come into being for decisions to be made. They're not hangout, they're not social clubs, they're not how you doing. They are for business to be conducted. Business means there are decisions that are going to move your organization, move it forward, expand it, deal with some core part of your organization. It doesn't matter what your organization is. It can be your house of worship, it can be your business, it can be your job, it can be a volunteer nonprofit organization that you're running, it could be some office that you hold. But the purpose of the meeting is to move it forward. That means decisions. Get into those logistics quickly. What do I mean? And I'm going to say 3 weeks before the meeting. Start on those logistics. You could even start right after you get the announcement out and handle the physical. We're talking about what are the decisions that need to be made. You and your team who are going to meet, your fellow board members or your fellow executive committee members, need to have one place where you all know you will write, yes, write, W-R-I-T-E, not write as in right or wrong, but write as in put words to paper. What the decisions are that are to be made. What are the decisions to be agreed to, the decisions to be adopted, the decisions to approve. Again, these meetings are about making decisions for the organization. So what are they? While you're deciding what they are, they're not ideas. They are concrete decisions. Those require some logistics that go with them. Things like, how much of a budget? How is this decision going to affect the budget? That's a big one. Are we about to make a decision, or do we need to make a decision that's going to affect the budget, increase it, decrease it, flip it, do something to it in this meeting that's coming up? How is it going to affect how widespread we can grow the organization? Make it grow faster, slower? What's the return? We talked about this last week. What is the return on investment? Those are decision logistics. What information do you need to gather? You and your members who are coming together to make a decision, pull that data together 3 weeks ahead of time. What's the information you need? Where is it going to come from? If it's budget, which budget line item? How much is it? If it's location, what location? If it's personnel or staffing, what's the staffing decision? If it's contracting, who are the contractors? What do we need to do to get them in place? What information do we need from them? What is the name of the company? Who's the point of contact? When was the last time we were in touch with them? What do we need to get from them? Those are decision-making logistics to put in place well before the meeting. You don't get in the meeting and start trying to figure out what all this stuff is. This is pre-planning, planning, being effective. So when you go into your meeting, you can make decisions swiftly. Then once you pull all of that together, most organizations of this type will have what they call a secretary, whatever you want to call the person, but someone to pull all of that together, put it in a cohesive document or set of documents in logical order. What order are you going to address each of those pieces of business? Not random and I think about it and you get there. No, exactly how you're going to address it. We're going to do topic A, topic B, C, D, and in this order. And the meeting packet is put together in exactly that order so that the participants, the people who have to make the decisions, can follow along in the meeting. We'll get back to that. Then, once that packet is put together, the physical logistics are handled, the decision making logistics are handled. They're all in a document or a set of documents that are put together in order. You distribute that one packet of information to all of the people who are attending who need to make a decision 7 to 10 days before the meeting. 7 to 10 days before the meeting. So we started 4 weeks out, 3 weeks out. We're now 7 to 10 days before the meeting. Not business days, 7 to 10 calendar days. 7 days in a week, 7 to 10 of those. Okay? Distribute it beforehand. I'm going to say to you, if you have a question, go ahead, put a Q colon in front of it. This is a great time to start asking questions. This physical logistics, this decision-making logistics, get your questions in. I will come back and answer your questions later on in the episode today. You've now collected all of that material. You've done the writing. You've checked it. You've got it laid out. It's ready to go. The next thing is, as members, you, the leader included, read all of the material, every single page and paragraph of it. Don't skip any of it. Avoid saying, I'll look at it when I get to the meeting. That's too late. You're not going to be able to be efficient. Your mind won't have had an opportunity to consider the material as a holistic package. You won't have had time to make a list of questions or even think about your point of view about what the topic is. Let's use something that we can all relate to. Let's say one of the items on the agenda is, what size turkey is the organization going to buy for a meal that's being served? Simple decision, we think. But there's a lot that goes into that. So your meeting packet has to include, where are the places that they're available? What's the budget? How much money is it going to charge? Are they pre-cooked? Are they not pre-cooked? Are they deep fried? Are they baked? Lots of decisions around a turkey. How many people does this thing need to serve? Do you need more than one? If you wait until you get in the meeting and all of that data, those data points have been provided to you, you're prolonging a meeting when the decision could be made very quickly, and you can come into the meeting with a point of view about all of the details. Then the few questions that aren't answered in the meeting packet are the ones you now have written, and you can come in. We're going to come back. You can come in ready to work. This is part of planning. That pre-reading step is critical so that you go in prepared. If you have gone to a business meeting and you have not done this pre-work, and you get there and you're confused about what the topic is, and you're just waiting for someone to tell you what the material is about and what the background is and why we're making the decision, put yes in the chat or put yes in the comments. Just acknowledge to yourself or say, yeah, me too. Or I've experienced being in a meeting where someone else has done that. I've come in, I'm prepared, but somebody else walked in and they weren't prepared because they didn't do this third step. That's reading the material. Now, how do you prepare it? You're not only reading it, you are marking it up, whether it's on paper or electronic. I do this on an iPad. I take the documents, I make sure they're all PDFs. Easy way to do it. I bookmark the PDF so that I know what pages to go to. I will use a PDF markup tool. I'll highlight, I'll circle, I'll write notes to myself on the side so that when the discussion is happening, I've already pre-thought what I want to cover around that topic. So it looks like I'm getting it in the moment. And in fact, what I've done is prepared it ahead of time. This doesn't have to take long. It can take you 30 minutes. Sit down with the tablet or with paper and go through the document and a highlighter, some colored pen, and mark it up. Be clear when you're reading that you're reading specific, actionable things to take, actions to take, not ideas and concepts and feelings. Ideas, concepts, and feelings do not move an organization. They're concrete decisions. Remember, we're saying what turkey are turkeys. Not we need to feed people, not how the people going to feel about it when they get there, not how they're going to like it or not like it. None of that is relevant in the context of making the decision about what turkey or turkeys to buy or to go farm. However the organization decides to get them. There's a point where you have to separate how you want the people to feel from the decision you actually have to make. And I've had so many people tell me, but I want to feel, yes, we want to feel great. I want to feel great. But when it comes to making the actual business decision, you got to somehow figure out, how do I remove the emotion from it so that I can make a wise decision? And this pre-reading and pre-work and preparation will help you get there. If you're getting value, let me know. Hit the thumbs up button. Put yes in the chat. Do something. Let me know. Another point of preparing is making sure your presiding officer is ready for the meeting. Make sure your presiding officer is ready for the meeting. And what do I mean by that? Someone, your president, your chairperson, somebody has to preside over the meeting or lead the meeting or facilitate the meeting. Whoever that person is, make sure they are prepared to come in to conduct business. It could be as simple as providing them with a cheat sheet on here are the topics in this order, or it could be additional material that they need. Make sure they're ready. Someone take responsibility, and if it's you and you care about the organization, just take the responsibility yourself to make sure the person is prepared. I am a very, very strong believer in when it comes to business using Robert's Rules of Order. Very strong believer in it. It cuts down on so much chaos. However, it can be a challenge when a presiding officer is not familiar with the fundamentals of Roberts. It makes it difficult. So what do? I've written whole scripts for meetings and just say, go through and read this script exactly as it is. That's helping the person be prepared. Just make sure that your presiding officer is prepared to come in so that you can make decisions as a body quickly and efficiently. Okay? The last part, the last tip is making sure when you're in the meeting, you support the decisions. I'm going to go back, however, and share with you a part of that preparing. Also prepare yourself. Get there before the meeting starts. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever you need. What are you going to do in arriving early? You're going to lay out your material in a way that makes sense for you. You're going to make sure you've got water or hot tea or whatever to drink if you need it. You're going to greet each other and say hello to each other. You're going to get settled and be ready to go to work. If you've gone to a meeting and people are coming in at the time that the meeting is starting, or they've come in after the meeting time the set meeting time has started, and they're making excuses and they can't figure out where we are in the agenda, and they don't know where their materials are and they forgot something, put yes in the comments if you're watching the replay. I've been in so many meetings, but preparing for planning a meeting to be effective is also planning to show up ready to work. That means getting there early. I was in the military. If you're on time, you're late in the military. Nobody in the military believes, whoever served in the military believes in getting there on time. If you're on time, you're late. So we plan to get everywhere early. 15 minutes at a minimum early. That may mean if I'm driving, I may sit in the car for 10 minutes before I walk in. I'm okay with that because I plan to do something in that 15 minutes, even if it's 10 minutes of just listening to some good music or reading a book or making a phone call. But I'm there early so that I'm settled and ready to go at the meeting time. I'm the same way in virtual meetings. I don't get there and log into Zoom at the time that the meeting is starting. It's get in 10 minutes early. You do the same thing. Greet people, get yourself ready, get settled at the start of the meeting. The presiding officer calls the meeting to order, and you're off and running to be able to make decisions and move your business forward, move your organization forward. So the last one, I want to come back to it now that I've said that, is once the decisions are made, you all came in, you were ready to go. You made the decisions. You've now decided what turkey we're going to buy, and we needed to buy 3. Some of you may not have agreed. Some of you may have wanted to fry the turkey, but ultimately the decision was made to bake the turkeys. Fine. Once the decision is made, support the decision of the organization 100%. Do not, as a leader, you can destroy your organization as a leader by walking out of that meeting and voicing that you did not agree with the decision of the organization. Whether you agree or not, whether you voted for it or against it, whether you all had a knockdown, drag out behind closed doors, once the final decision is made, you support the decision, because supporting the decision is supporting the organization and ensuring that you're helping that organization to move forward. Those are the simple planning steps. Logistics, physical logistics, decision-making logistics, preparing yourself and your presiding officer for the meeting with all of the materials. And then when everything is said and done, make sure you plan and are intentional about supporting the decision of the organization, because you want to operate in something that I heard a long time ago. As an organization, you want to operate from this perspective: one band, one sound. If you've gotten value, hit yes and let me know. I want to come out here and see who's out there with us tonight. I know some wonderful people. I'm going to just start here at the first one I see, and I'm going to say hello to Philip. So glad to see you in the house. And you say, if I have the opportunity to plan with another stakeholder to work on the topic and draft and anticipate people's objections or point of view. Absolutely. That's when earlier I talked about planning the decision-making logistics. That's absolutely a critical part. You're thinking through, you're writing out, what are the points? What are the objections? What are the answers to those objections? Who may have a different point of view? What is the background that goes into the decision that's being made? Hey Dagan, so glad to have you here. I'm with you. The Navy ruined me. I hate being late. I hate being late. It bothers me and I can't get myself together for the first few minutes if I am late. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Emotional CEO, one of our moderators and my graphic designer extraordinaire. Thank you for being in the building. And welcome to Frank. And he's greeting Walter. So, Walter, I know you're out there. Love having you. Thank you, Frank, for being here and continuing to serve. And good evening, good evening, good evening to Walter Strong III from the Huddle with Walter Strong III. Good evening, everyone. And I think I saw another young lady here. Yes, I did. Hello, Conda. Glad to have you here. And I know personally that you run a lot of meetings and you're in a lot of meetings, so I hope this was really valuable to you. And Miss Natalie Johnson Lee, girl, my mornings are not the same. Let me just tell you, my mornings are not the same. When I wake up and I have an opportunity and I'm not in a work meeting and I get a chance to catch you, it blesses me tremendously. So thank you for the work that you're doing. And so I'll just share this. Everyone here, Natalie is a new member of the community, so I hope you greet her with a warm equipping you welcome. But she also does His Word in Us every morning and she's reading from the Bible. So if you are a believer, you're a Christian, a great time. You can go to her channel. You can write your channel name in, and I think it is Natalie. It's Natalie Johnson Lee in the chat, and I'll make sure I put it out in some of our other community material. But if you are a morning person, tremendous. We have discussion around the word that she's reading as well. And so glad to have you here with us. Let's see, did I miss somebody? And if you are a gentleman or you have gentlemen in your life who grow beards, make sure they go see Dagan, BGG Grooming. He is a wealth of information. Sorry, I don't have a beard, so I can't tell you what the products are like. But if you have men in your life, brothers, fathers, sons, friends who grow a beard, make sure they go see Dagan, BGG Grooming. Dagan, can you put all of you all put your information in chat? And Philip Fishsticks, he does, and I'm going to say it wrong, even though I still go look at you twice a week. Um, Next Leap of Faith. He does a scripture at the beginning of the week, give us the week to meditate on it, put it in action, and then he comes back and shares at the end of the week how he implemented and applied that scripture during the week. So make sure you go, and I believe it's the Next Leap of Faith. I'm terrible remembering these details, but I just bookmark everything and can go to it when I need it. And then the Huddle with Walter Strong is back in business. So if you're doing any kind of online meeting, go by on Saturdays at 11 a.m. and check him out. You will not be sorry. Y'all, I'm so excited coming into this time of the year. I've grown this, I feel like a new person. So if you're getting this excitement, thank you for hanging out with me. If you need to go, I understand it's a holiday weekend and y'all are out there shopping. And while you're shopping, check the description below because I have put some information in the video description that will be useful. So there are links down in the description for 2024 calendars for some of our community members. For example, one of the calendars is by the Emotional CEO. It's called the Power Play Planner. Phenomenal planner, and it will challenge you in some of your thinking. Definitely things that you may not think about, and some that may, let's say this, help you get your life right. I'll just say it that way. So check the links in the description and along with other gear, and I'll be trying to share more resources with you all that way. And if you're not a member of the Buy Me a Coffee community, come join us. Thank you, Philip. Yes, next step of faith. Next step of faith. You said you couldn't spell your own channel, but you know what? You get the information correct. That's what's important. When people come and get the information from you, they will be challenged and they will grow and they will be better. They will live a more fulfilled life and certainly have better relationships with people as a result of what your material you're putting out and the fact that you're so vulnerable and you're sharing how you are personally applying what you're reading is tremendous. So that's it, y'all. I have enjoyed being here with you. It has been wonderful. And again, if you weren't here at the beginning, tonight wraps up meeting month. I'm going to be taking off a little bit of December, just refueling, retooling, doing some things. So I'll be with you the first 3 Fridays in December, and then the last 2 Fridays, because there are 5 Fridays in December, the last 2 Fridays in December, I will not be live streaming. I'm going to be working to put some material out at the regular time, though, because I want to stay consistent with you all as a community. So glad to have you all here. I have enjoyed being with you. So I'm going to try to do this correctly and see if I don't mess it up. Yes. So go by, check out our friends who are in the community, and come back next week for the new material that will kick off December. Good night, everybody.